round 2 matchup between Loyola and Glenbrook North coming your way from Northbrook Sports Center. Loyola beat Glenbrook North last Saturday with a 5-4 win. Will Loyola be able to come back and tie the season series? This is the Scholastic Hockey League on the SHL Network. We are live from Northbrook Ice Center for the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into tonight's broadcast where this rivalry matchup features a rematch of just a couple of nights ago between Glenbrook North and Loyola Gold. Alongside Andrew Rubin, I am Max Anderson with Dylan Ward down on ice level. We'll have all the live game action for you here from Northbrook. Andrew, the game that these two teams played just a couple of nights ago, an instant classic. They follow it right back up here just a couple of nights later. Yeah, absolutely right. Instant classic. Some already say it could be a candidate for Game of the Year here in the SHL. Non-stop back and forth, ending in overtime by a game winner by Michael Dimoff. And today looks to be a follow-up to that game on Saturday. A heartbreak loss for Loyola. For more on how they're going to look to come back tonight, even the season series, we're going to send it down to ice level where Dylan Ward standing by with Loyola coach Scott Sorello. Dylan.
Thank you very much, guys. Coach, the first thing I'm going to ask you is Ryan Cowan. He missed a little bit of time earlier this season, but now he's back in the lineup and in full force, 5 points already. What does it mean to have him back?
I can't say enough good things about him. I've had him. This is my 4th season with him. I don't want to gush too much over him right now, but yeah, I love the kid. Can't say enough about him.
All right, well, secondly, they were just talking about it up there. This is a rematch from just Saturday night. The GBN power play able to score 3 goals on you guys. How important is staying out of the box?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we stayed out of the box last game. We beat them 3-1. It's a game changer. So they, credit to them. They have a really good power play. It's been like that for a while now. So really important that we stay out of the box. But we got some tweaks here just in case we do.
All right, thanks for the time, Scott. Back up to you.
Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it. Dylan will be down on ice level all night long for us. And Andrew, we were talking earlier today. We were talking before the broadcast. It's going to be really interesting, just a couple of days removed from what you mentioned might be the game of the year so far in the SHL. To come back and play just a couple days later, these teams are ready for each other.
100%, Max. You have to expect the emotions to be high to start this game. Both teams, really looking to get back at each other for that last quick moment, for that last game. Where, again, mentioned earlier, GBN won in overtime. But now this game is at GBN's place with their Northbrook Bluehawks night to a pretty packed crowd here, so we'll see which team can get off to a fast start.
We're going to get a chance to look at some of the footage from the other night, including an opening goal from Jacob Valdez, who had a beautiful cut across the ice, Andrew, and really got it going for Loyola.
Yeah, and we see that shot beats Nakaz and low blocker side, but off the rush, really a lot of damage done for Loyola.
We talked about it pregame, the importance of Ryan Cowan for this team. Scored 2 goals, seen a couple of them here in the highlights. Scott Sorello can't even put into words how much he means to this team.
Yes, and we see he's playing forward in these shifts, also one of the best defensemen for the last 3 years in the state as well. Really a Swiss Army knife at this point for Loyola Gold.
Meanwhile, you teased Dimoff's game-winning goal. Jenin had a really important one just a few minutes before that. Ultimately, it was the goal off the stick of Dimoff in OT that got the winner the other night.
Yeah, we're really seeing some highlights from Stevenson as well. Loyola and Stevenson games for GBN really got Dimoff and Jenin going for this team who, if you look at their non-conference play, you see lots of scoring. GBN can't be more ecstatic to see them scoring in the SHL.
And you talk about the importance when a guy like Owen Just missed a couple of games, he's out sick a couple of weeks ago, and you saw a couple of key players, Josh Jenin being one, Michael Dimoff being another for this GBN team, step up and make a huge impact. Owen Just comes back. It seems like GBN's starting to find their flow.
Yes, I had the ability to talk to the GBN coaching staff about it, and they obviously say they do not plan on not having Owen Just. That is not part of their solution, but that one game really allowed the other players to not only just change their mindset, but change their expectations going into the game, knowing that Owen Just wouldn't be there to make the normal plays that he can. But now with Owen Just back, if they can get him rolling how he was, they think that there's nobody in the state that can slow them down.
Meanwhile, on the Loyola side, a bit of a slow start to the season. A lot of new pieces, especially offensively. They've been in most of their games. They haven't been blowouts at OT the last 2 times. Just haven't gotten the result for them. Tonight is a big step towards getting their season back on track.
Yes, I was able to talk to the Loyola Gold players and coaches who said that it's more about process over results right now. They're out shooting their opponents. They haven't lost in regulation in 6 straight games. They feel like they're just a few little small changes away from also being a dominant force here in the SHL.
So it's Northbrook Blue Hawk night. Andrew, you were, I believe, a Blue Hawk way back in the day, seeing a lot of the youth players here for the Northbrook program. Certainly, I'm sure you could put yourself back in those shoes out here watching the varsity team. It's got to be an exciting night for those kids as well.
Yes, I did not have the ability to have one of these. COVID kind of slowed stuff down in my time playing, but being a Blue Hawk, all you really want to do is grow up and be a GBN hockey player. And seeing these guys get to play against a great team like Loyola, it's a great atmosphere for these kids to be a part of.
Should be a fantastic crowd. Should be a great game. Like I said, we've been looking forward to this matchup ever since really that game ended. We knew that we were going to be the next game on the schedule, and we're very much looking forward to that. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back with Puck Drop here in just a moment on the SHL Network. Uline, the shipping and industrial supply specialists. CCTY Bearing. Christopher Burke Engineering. Wintrust Bank. Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust community bank. Chicagoland Habitat for Humanity. Thank you to our sponsors. We missed just the first 2 seconds of puck drop there, but you didn't miss much. We're going to have an early face-off draw down in the GBN zone.
Yes, one thing to take note of, Max, before when we saw GBN play, it was Jenin, Dimoff, and Just on one line. We see now Jenin starting the game with Schoenberg and Sandler, and I believe Siegel has moved up to play with Just and Dimoff. Something to take note of, looking for a little bit more scoring line depth from Coach Evan Polakidis.
And certainly on the other side, these 2 coaching staffs very familiar with each other. DJ, Scott, Evan have been playing against each other for years now, and line matchups are going to be something to watch all game long. Here's Katsamakis playing the puck forward to Sandler. He'll poke the puck deep, give Jenin and Schoenberg a chance on the forecheck. Schoenberg evaluating, he'll stop and turn around, now trying to make way towards the front of the net. Still with the puck, gets it back to Katsamakis, swings it across to Smith. Smith shot, looking for a deflection in front. Early pad save from Braden Haney. Now Charlie Bain back the other way, he's got some space. Backhand shot, just wide of the net. Good effort from Katsamakis to slow him down.
Talk about a big start offensively for both teams.
Trying to get a Sipe in the slot. That shot just misses. I think it was Nate Kazan got just enough. Another shot from Bain. Left pad save, so Loyola pressuring early. Kablik's shot misses wide. Now Smith and Chase for the Spartans. He cuts off the angle of Thomas Messina. That's going to go the length of the ice, but no icing here early. Soft starters, both goalies here having to make a key early save. Of course, Braden Haney in net for Loyola. Opposite him is Nate Kasdan. Haney's been outstanding this far in the season, more than 95% save percentage. Here's a shot from Finnegan. Blockered away by Kasdan. Steal shot from the point. That's an expensive piece of lumber that just snapped at the blue line.
Max, you alluded to the start for these goaltenders, both right away being thrust right into the mix of things. No slowing down, seems like, from this matchup on Saturday.
Fisher calling for the puck, gets it across to Kadlik. Deflection in front from Finnegan, just wide. Henriksen below his goal line, trying to scoop it up off the boards. Not able to. Eventually, it's Dimoff that chips it out. Now Fisher having to go retreat and get the puck from his own goal line. That low ceiling here at Northbrook Ice Center. Deflection, it'll be an offensive zone draw coming for Glenbrook North.
Probably have to say this start went to Loyola after that initial chance as we see that breakaway opportunity here for Loyola, but both teams really starting to play pretty fast to start. GBN looking more of a dump and chase. Loyola looking to carry pucks more into the GBN
On the live
zone.
call, I gave Katsumakis some credit. Certainly got the job done, but I think Kadson's poke shot with his stick threw Bain's timing off just enough to steer that puck wide. Heads up play early by 35 in black and green.
You mentioned Braden Haney. Nate Kasdan has also been just terrific for Glenbrook North this year. A .936 save percentage, and we had the luxury of watching him against St. Viator put on an absolute show.
Yeah, that was a clinic here just a couple of weeks ago right here at Northbrook Ice Center in a OT game that GBN came out on top, and it was a shootout, in fact. Game winner by Josh Jenin. Now Owen Just, he's skating hard to go reach that puck. He's got a 3-on-2, winds up, shoots into the belly of Haney. And I think he saw Dimoff say, hey, that was back door. He had some angle back there. Pass from Just might have been better off.
Yes, Just also, I had the ability to talk to him. He wants to get the puck to the net more. He's always been more of a pass-first guy of his entire career. You can see that last year by looking at SHL stats. He wants to be more of a goal scorer this year, put a few more pucks in the net.
Rafalowski checks him in, wins the puck below the goal line, gets it right back. Avoids the drop it below, just misses Cyphers. The center trying to dig it out. Now Matthew St. John able to get control of it and escorted out by Fitzsimmons. Back to settle it now, Rossi. We talk about Michael Dimoff leading the league in both points and goals. Off to an incredible start is Michael Dimoff for Glenbrook North. Really been that scoring answer. We talked about just being out of games, a little bit of a slow offensive start. He's really picked it up for the Spartans.
Yeah, 4 goals in his last 2 games, all of them coming in really big fashion for this GBN team. He's really been the go-to guy recently. If they need a big goal, it's going to be coming from Michael Dimoff.
13-12 left here in the first period. A flurry of chances for each side in that first minute. Ever since, it's been a little bit of more feeling out. Expect plenty of scoring chances to come. Julian Gabal checked a man at the blue line, couldn't control it. Holton, and finally Kadlik settles it down. Here's Gabal again. He'll dump it in deep. Give Holton a chance on the forecheck.
We're seeing GBN get some pretty good pressure on these Loyola players. When they're able to spread the ice out east-west, create a little bit more times for themselves, that's when they're really showing that they can possess this puck, create chances.
The puck up top. The shot from Kadlik kicked aside by Wilson. Now Rossi in the corner puts a good body check on Holton. Cooper Shalin around the other side, tries to play the puck off the boards, just able to get the puck past the point of Will Steele.
Good to see Connor Steiner still out there for GBN. He missed a few games due to injury as well. So it's a good sight for the GBN faithful to see him out and rolling.
Steiner dumps the puck, goes for a change. Messina fouls it up, but Smith alertly takes the puck away. Here's Sandler. 3-on-2 coming for GBN. Good stick play at the blue line by Aiden Fisher to slow that rush.
Yeah, you really don't want to see Jenin kind of use the one-hand approach there, getting the puck. Fisher was able to take that puck because Jen with one hand not really able to make any play on the puck.
Sandler trying to pinch in. Instead, here's Zach Waltman. Waltman into the slot, puck bouncing everywhere. He's going to take it into the corner. Smith swipes it away. Waltman able to win it back below the goal line. Centering pass. Good stick from Kasdan not to let that puck get into the slot. And Jacob Smith comes away with it for GBN.
Looks like we're going to get no offsides. Loyola was looking for it.
Both teams here the last 5 minutes or so. 11:08 left in the first quarter. Been some time since we've had a whistle as well. So both benches having to roll their lines. Here's Fisher. Owen Just takes the puck at center ice, has it roll off his stick, and again cleared by Cole Jobert.
Really seeing some sloppy play here in the neutral zone. Both teams really content with dumping and chasing right now. But it seems like the forechecks both teams have right now is exactly able to stifle the offenses
Takes
for both teams.
Fortunate bounce to Siegel's stick. He tried to put it on net, never got there. Now Jobert, we're going to get a whistle for a hand pass. You get a hand pass to yourself?
There is no way that could be a hand pass. Maybe he called him closing his hand on the puck, but you cannot hand pass the puck to yourself.
Guys, a little bit of confusion on the Loyola bench, but it doesn't look like much of an argument. Anything on that replay?
Not yet. I thought it was Joe Bear that grasped the puck and threw it down to himself. But if he closed his hand on the puck, that'd be a penalty, would it not, Andrew?
I believe that is up to the referee's discretion. He could determine whether that's a penalty or not.
Well, the end result's going to be an offensive zone draw here for GBN. Joe Bear opposite Aiden Siegel. GBN wins the face-off, but immediately taking over is Chris Sipe. Sipe gets it back to the point in Cowan. Cowan's shot gets a deflection in front from Bain, but not on net.
No hesitation from Cowan getting that puck to the net there.
Bain along the near half wall trying to dig it out. Eventually gets it to Sipe. Good bounce to Charlie Bain. And an alert save by Kasdan. That's going to go the length of the ice for icing, but Bain had a lot of space right there between the circles.
You mentioned a real alert save there from Kasdan. Really tough puck for a goaltender to travel, being on one side of the net, having to switch all the way to the other side, make that sliding save. Bain really looked like he had that top right side. Just getting a piece of it was Kasdan. But a real important save here for GBN as they look to get their offense back and rolling.
Couldn't see it as well there on the replay, but I also think that puck was bouncing just a little bit on Bain. Wasn't able to get, I think, everything he wanted on that shot. Now tie up, eventually comes back to the point and Klein. 4 or 5 bodies come together in the corner. Trying to dig it out is St. John. DJ Long there as well for the Ramblers. Still digging along the near half wall. Eventually Pride free. It'll be St. John below the goal line. Addanen pressuring him the entire way. There's a shot from the point again, fought off by Kasdan, kicked into the corner.
We're seeing a lot of just wrapping the puck from both teams, and not really anybody on those sides as well. Both teams just really out of sort right now, trying to run their systems. As you mentioned, though, both these coaches know each other so well. They know the game plans that the other teams are trying to execute. It's almost something that you have to expect as these teams continue to play each other more and more. It's just which team is going to make those in-game adjustments to help them win.
9:19 left here in the first period. 0-0 our score. Ball and Siegel will take this neutral zone draw. And both guys are going to get tossed out of the face-off dot here. Or is it just going to be, yeah, no, we'll get both. Here's now Shalen and Valdez. Valdez going to win this draw. And again, like you mentioned, Andrew, Cowan just rifles it in around the boards.
And no real Loyola players over there to get that dump and create any pressure, as GBN's going to walk out of the zone pretty easily here.
Here's Siegel getting it across to Shalen. He buys some time, gets it in the high slot. A shot deflected wide off the stick of Tristan Miller.
That was a real good look from Shalen. I think that was Jordan Kane. He wasn't even really expecting that pass. But it was such a good pass from Shalen. Good look to that high guy in the slot. That second man, or third man actually, that will really be the guy open as you drive the net.
Cowan's pass misses everybody, but that's going to say no icing on that. Rossi and Holton come together below the goal. Shalen comes to help. Jenin trying to flick it out, kept in at least for the moment at the far point. That's Finnegan battling, eventually scooped out. Now Fisher with some space. Again, going to wrap it, give his forecheck a chance. You mentioned, Andrew, very direct strategy thus far. It's been get the puck in deep, go to battle below the goal line along the half wall so far for Loyola. Nothing to show for it yet. That seems to be the plan. Here's Sandler, got Jenin coming up the slot hard. He's tied up. Nice play by Klein coming down the slot for Loyola.
Yeah, right there we saw both Jenin and Schoenberg going directly to the net. Never a bad idea. But you want to have those layers. That third guy could have been open on that 3-on-2 if you look for a pass from Sandler.
Yatsamakis winds up. Big shot blocked away by Haney. Now Ryan Cowan, and just his 6th SHL game back off of an injury, and by all accounts looks to be pretty close to back in full swing of things. As evidence, of course, by a couple of goals last game against this Spartan team.
And I believe we have not seen him get a shift at forward yet. I would expect to see one soon. With really just the way that this game is picking up right now, Loyola might look for some offense.
Gets it up to Bain, trying to get it across. A shot from the far point in sight. And we're going to get a penalty, and that might be a second penalty against Bain.
Guys, I just wanted to point out, I don't know what kind of view you had of that save from up here, but down here it was such a clear open net, and he came across to rob them. The GBN bench absolutely electric after that one.
I got a good look in the replay here. You're absolutely correct. A little bit slow getting his shot off with sight. It gave Kazan just that split second to get a little bit further across and make the save.
Real big push and good job of using his hands there was Kazan. As it looks like we're going to get coincidental penalties, as they're going to get that call, as Jenin took that hooking penalty after Sipe took the shot, which is not advised. And then Loyola. Yeah, and then Loyola got the roughing penalty. That is Charlie Bain, as that is also another advised penalty right there. You want to go up on the power play early, maybe set some offense going. As we're going to get the clock fixed to going here.
Unlike the NHL, we'll stay 5-on-5 here despite the 2 penalties.
And we see Cowan at right wing here for this shift to start for Loyola.
Yeah, you called it just a minute ago, Andrew. Good eye.
This line's been really giving these teams trouble on the faceoffs, really slowing the game down. As a former center, that's just not what you like to see. Just drop the puck.
Good stick from Dimoff as he can't quite carry the puck out. Eventually, it's Aiden Siegel. Katsamakis swings across to Smith. Now, boy, Andrew, you wouldn't have guessed that in the first minute of this game there was 2 grade A chances. We're going to get another penalty. This one's going to go against Loyola. Looked like hooking or holding. But since that first minute, it's been a bit of a slog here. Dylan.
And you guys we were talking about in the pregame, GBN with 3 power play goals against the Ramblers last time out. So now that we've got an odd number of players out there, they're going to get a chance to man up here.
Good pickup, Dylan. Good pickup from you, Max, as well. You have to feel that both coaches said, we want to slow things down. We don't want to have as high energy as that first shift was. They kind of want to slow things down, especially the way last game ended. They're going to have more of a defensive approach, but these players are going to want to start on offense.
So that league-leading Glenbrook North power play at 27.5% is going to get a chance here with 6:29 left in the first. Just up top to Dimoff, right back to Just and Dimoff back and forth. Shot from Dimoff into the chest of Braden Haney.
No traffic there on that shot from Dimoff, but something to take note of last year when we saw GBN play Loyola. Loyola would almost man up Owen Just on that power play playing 4-on-3. So let's see how they attack GBN this year.
With that great goalie cam, of course sponsored by New Trier Hockey Club. You saw in that last one, Aiden Siegel, that blow across the crease there, trying to get his stick in the way, looking for a deflection. Just at the end of that, alert play by Siegel. Now here's trying to cross ice pass, backhanded shot, he scores! Aiden Siegel in the slot, got it by Haney, and it's 1-0 Glenbrook North.
That pass really surprised both Haney and the Loyola defenseman. They both thought that puck was going across to Owen Just, but Siegel able to stop it and get a quick backhand shot, and that was able to elude Haney for a 1-0 GBN lead.
Gonna get a look at it here. I'm pretty sure the pass was not intended for Siegel there. I think he was trying to go across. I can't tell who from that replay is at the near circle. I think Siegel just grabbed it and threw it on net, got the goal.
Yeah, I think that's what Will Steele was thinking as well for Loyola. That puck was going to Owen Just. And just that quick misdirection was all Aiden Siegel needed to make this a 1-0 game.
So with 5:55 left in the first period, it's GBN that goes out in front first. Henriksen trying to play it up towards Cyphers. Eventually he'll just slap it along the far boards. Klein back to take it for Loyola. Long now trying to chip it out. It's going to be
a high stick. But we just saw both teams on their breakouts initially move the puck up to their wings. They immediately passed it back down to their defenseman or go across to the other defenseman. As these teams are really trying to shut down those strong sides on their breakouts, having to go backwards to go forwards might be the strategy for the rest of this game.
5:26 left here in the first period. Shots on goal thus far. Loyola's got 8, GBN with 7. There's Waltman below the goal line, checked in the corner. Eventually comes to Messina. Messina's shot fought off by Kasdan. Right out in front, Adden has to escape danger. Eventually Macinter gets it out. Talked about it in the game against St. Viator just a couple of weeks ago, the improvement we've seen from Kasdan from last season to this season. And if there's one thing I can most specifically point to with Kasdan, I should say 2 things. It's 1, it's his rebound control, and 2, his positioning. Has just been outstanding in these first 3+ periods we've seen, especially compared to last season.
Yes, and talking to GBN goalie coach Rob Schmidt, he talks about the work ethic that Nate Kasdan has.
Oh, and a deflection, they score! Nothing Kasdan could do about that one. A deflection in front of the net. I believe it was Will Steele that got his stick in the way, and that's going to be a tie ball game.
Let's see if we can get a replay of that to see who got that deflection for the goal. Looks like it just went over the left shoulder of Nate Kasdan.
And if it is Steele's goal, it'll be his first of the season. Let's see if we can see it on the replay here. Oh, that might have been off the stick of Adden. That was off the stick. That's as close to an own goal as you're going to see in hockey. Alan Adden got the deflection.
You don't really want to be doing that as a defenseman, reaching your stick for a deflection for that exact reason. If you're going to block a shot, you're going to need to get your body in front of it.
And that shot was going to go right into the chest of Kasdan. He was in good position. Right as I was talking about his positioning, he would have had that save easily. Instead, it's a 1-to-1 game. It will be Will Steele, I believe, that gets credit for the goal. Dylan's down there on the score box. I think he's checking in on it for us now.
Guys, they gave it to number 47, which does not exist.
I can agree with you. 47 does not exist, so we will follow up on that, make sure we get that scored correctly.
And just speaking of that, by the way, on that goal scored by Jenin, as you were pointing out, Jacob Smith, number 4, and also Connor Katsamakis, 87, with assists.
I don't think that was right either, as I believe it was the pass from Smith to Sandler on that half wall on the power play, who then moved it to Siegel. So we're seeing maybe a few errors here from the referees giving the points, but
we'll let Sam Schwartz fix it after the game. We'll play on here.
But these teams will tell you they don't care who gets the stats. It's really just in the win-or-loss column at the end of the game that really matters.
4 minutes to go here in the first period. 1-1 our score. And the SHL game of the week live here from Northbrook Ice Center. Here's Waltman trying to get a shot off. His good stick lift by Jenin, not to let that happen. Dimoff and Siegel. Dimoff taken down, and he goes riding into the boards. Jenin able to keep it in. Here's Dimoff.
Dimoff had a chance to move that puck to Jenin, who was wide open in front of the net, but just had his back turned and wasn't able to either hear or see him.
Well, 4 bodies come together, pin it along the far half wall, eventually comes free, just not quite able to handle his own just. He's going to fire a shot, looking for a deflection. I think he got one from Jenin. Haney in good position, keeps it out.
Yeah, again, we see Owen Just getting that puck to the net there as we switch the goalie cam to see that. But you would also like to see Michael Dimoff kind of follow that play to the front of the net as well. He was off to the right, but that rebound was right there if he's able to go to the front of the net to put it home on Haney.
I can see you pointing at the replay monitor, and boy, do I wish I could give you a stylus to do a little telestrator action. We're working on that, right, Jimmy? Jimmy's locked in. Here we go, underway. Trying to keep the puck in, Cyphers. Sandler trying to play it on instead. It'll be Valdez.
Also notice last shift Jenin back up with Justin Dimoff, as we see now Cyphers, Macinter, and Sandler together.
Puck again hits the low-lying ceiling here. We're going to have a neutral zone face-off to come with 2:50 to go in the first.
GBN head coach Evan Polkidas is not afraid to line juggle as well. If he sees things not going the way that he likes it, he is not afraid to make a change to try to ignite his offense.
I suppose the straw's going to come back in the GBN zone. I thought it was deflected off a Loyola stick into the ceiling, but our guys down on the ice say differently. Sandler and Sipe. It's Sandler that wins it. Nifty play off the boards. Macinter. He's also got a man coming up the slot. That's Cyphers. He can't handle the pass across ice.
Real good chance there for GBN, exactly what you're looking for. Good look from Macinter. Not only chip that puck out of the zone, but also get to Cyphers. Just one small change away from having a real good scoring chance.
Sipe lowers that shoulder and a huge hit, and that's going to be a penalty against Cyphers. Looked like a clean hit to me. Looked like his chest was right to Cyphers, and Cyphers just kind of put his shoulder into the chest of Sipe. It was obviously a big hit, and Sipe was off balance, but didn't look like necessarily a bad hit to me. We're going to take another look at it here. I don't know, Andrew, you tell me.
I mean, maybe you can give him a boarding because of how violently they hit him into the boards, but there's not really much that Cyphers can do there, as it wasn't look like he tried to deliver a huge hit. It was more of just a bump to Sipe, who was unfortunately just off balance, but looks like it's only going to be a 2-minute roughing penalty, but either way, Loyola to the power play.
Guys, I can confirm with Matthew St. John on the bench here that is Will Steele's goal, a former Blue Hawk.
How about that on Northbrook Blue Hawk night?
Sure, that makes Will Steele very happy as anybody looks to go haunt their old team.
So on the power play is Loyola, and they've struggled. Here's a shot from Cowan right into the belly of Nate Kasdan. Talk about the power play thus far for Loyola. They're 8th in the league at 12%, not where you'd normally see a Loyola Gold power play. And it hasn't been their strength thus far, just 3 of 25.
I think it's also all the new bodies. We see Cowan, who was there last year, but they're missing Will Schreiber, Jack Gustafson, all those players they had last year that were able to control it.
Another shot from Cowan, gets a deflection off the post. Big save from Kasdan Fowler. Backdoor Bain, he scores! A flurry around the net, and it's Charlie Bain that gets the power play goal to put Loyola ahead 2-1.
Special teams playing a real important role in all sorts of traffic around Kasdan, and that puck just comes to Charlie Bain on the back door. No chance for Nate Kasdan. Great looks for Loyola on the power play.
Yeah, and it all started with that crossbar shot. I mean, talk about persistence on the man advantage. They had bodies all in front, just as you were saying, Andrew, and Bain stays hot with his 5th goal of the year, 8th point.
He had 3 assists the other night as well in the game against Glenbrook North. He's certainly getting into the scoring column after a bit of a slow start for him on the scoring front. 4 points the last 2 games, 7 on the season. Now Loyola with a little bit of jump in their step. Messina leaves for Waltman. Shot from Waltman deflected wide. Then again tries the stuff at home. Gets it right in front of Messina. The shot and a save from Kasdan. Now Messina not happy about something going on. I guess ultimately the whistle was the goal came off its posts. 1:45 left in the first.
We're seeing Loyola get all sorts of traffic and shots in front of Nate Kasdan. If you're GBN, you really have to focus on protecting that house in front of Nate Kasdan. Make Loyola work the outside.
And guys, the Loyola bench down here went from 0 to 100 real quick after that go-ahead goal.
Oh, I can imagine. Talked about the struggles on the power play. They can check that off the box. Starting to score around the net. They can check that concern off their list as well. Good start here for Loyola Gold. Owen Just leaves for Dimoff. He can't get a shot off. Great vision there from Owen Just to find a wide open Dimoff between the circles. Dimoff couldn't get a shot off.
Second time we've seen that from GBN, able to find that guy in between the circles, just not able to handle the pass.
Here's Steele. He goes around Henriksen. Backhanded shot. Just misses the top left shelf. That puck barely kept in by Kadlik. His shot goes between the legs of Kasdan. And it's 3-1 with 1:03 left. And boy, you talk about the announcer's jinx. We were just praising Nate Kasdan a couple of minutes ago and how good he's looked this season. That is one that he will absolutely want back. But for Loyola, they take a 3-1 lead.
And that puck can't go in on Nate Kasdan, but that also stems from GBN not being able to get the puck out of their zone in that situation. When you have that puck within 5 feet of your own blue line, it has to come out of the zone. But we see Loyola just able to intercept that pass.
There's no traffic in front. There is nothing there. That's just a whiff on the part of Nate Kasdan.
I don't know if you caught it on the replay, but the reaction from Cadlick was priceless.
DJ Long with a night. We'll have to take another look at it. Didn't notice it. So all of a sudden, GBN finds themselves in a 3-1 hole with 3 unanswered goals from Loyola here in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
And with this, the last shift of the period, you're looking for somebody to look to create a spark for GBN. If you're Loyola, you just got to keep up this pressure and ride into the second period.
30 seconds remaining in the first. Rafalowski along the far side half wall trying to pry the puck free. Well, 5 bodies battling it out on that far half wall. Wilson throws his body around trying to get it free. He does. Here's Rossi. Rossi gives quickly to Schoenberg. Macinter coming up the slot. Cowan does a good job of steering Schoenberg wide. 7 seconds to go in the period. Fitzsimmons. That's going to be played by high stick with 1.6 to go, so we're going to get an offensive zone draw from GBN.
Interesting to see what GBN does here with only 1.5 seconds to go, but what a finish to the period for Loyola these last, I'd say, 6 or 7 minutes. Besides that power play from GBN, most of the time spent has been in GBN zone as we see a 15-8 shot on goal advantage for Loyola.
The last time we checked in on shots, I was just going to mention that shot right off the face-off draw. Nice play by Macinter. Alertly, Haney's able to fight it off, but I was just going to say, I think last time we checked in on shots, it was 8-7 GBN, 8 straight shots on goal for Loyola. They really dominated the second half of that period.
And right after GBN almost scored that goal to go up 1-0.
So we're going to take a quick timeout, come back with second period action here in just a moment. You're watching the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. The SHL Network is brought to you by Uline, the shipping and industrial supply specialists, CCTY Bearing, Christopher Burke Engineering, Wintrust Bank, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust community bank, Chicagoland Habitat for Humanity, Kramer Construction, and Schmidt Goaltending. Back underway here from Northbrook Ice Center. A 3-1 Loyola lead as we get the second period started. It was an opening goal from the Spartans that got the score going, but then it was 3 unanswered, and the latter half of that second period dominated by Loyola.
Yeah, I listened in a little bit at the huddle here at the GBN bench, and one thing Evan Polakidis is frustrated about is his team's passion and energy out there. That was the big theme of his conversation. He wants more effort from his guys, and he feels like they're being a little lazy out there.
Andrew, you mentioned it a little bit before the game, right? As everybody came on the ice, it was a little bit dead, not as much energy. I think you identified that before we even got started.
Yeah, which is very surprising considering the environment that we have and the way these teams played just an instant classic last game.
16:24 left in the second period. Dylan Ward down on ice level. Andrew Rubin to my right. I'm Max Anderson here with the SHL Network crew. Shot as these two sides switch ends of the ice. Now that's played by a high stick. But since it was hit by Shaylin, we'll play on. Side of the net. Kasdan hugging that near post, and he gets a whistle. And we'll get a face-off draw in the GBN zone here shortly.
We see that shot was taken by Ryan Cowan as Loyola elected to start him at forward. for this second period. As we get a great look at the goalie cam here, that puck was played by a high stick. But sure enough, we see the pressure just kept on GBN by Loyola. Loyola does not seem to be letting up or changing their game plan at all.
Seen a couple early candidates for our Schmidt goaltending save of the game. 2 of them came really in that first part of the first period, the first minute really. And of course, save of the game will be sponsored by Schmidt Goaltending. Visit schmidtgoaltending.com and use promo code SHL to get up to 20% off private lessons or any product in the online store. We thank Schmidt Goaltending for being such a great sponsor of the SHL. Now offensive zone draw from Loyola, can't get possession. Dimoff racing to track down this puck, just coming down the slot. Dimoff evaluating his options, eventually drops it below the goal to just. Back to Dimoff, cross ice, nobody there for the Spartans. And they'll be easily carried out by Waltman. Adinen took an awkward hit right in the middle of the ice. He's slow to get up. He's crawling back to the bench. That is not a good sight for the Spartans. He is doing everything he can. They're playing with 4 guys right now. Here's a shot. Kadlik had a chance to bury one there.
I'm not sure why we got a whistle now, as the injured player just got to the bench.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Andrew.
And Adinen is really struggling as he gets back to the bench. I think it was a knee-to-knee collision in center ice. I didn't notice it. Terribly inappropriate play. I don't know if we have an angle from that, Jimmy.
But either way, you'd expect the officials to blow that whistle earlier with Adinen on the ice and the puck in the Loyola defensive zone. That chance that Loyola got really was because they refused to blow the whistle on Adinen laying on the ice.
And then they blew it once Loyola had the puck. Dylan.
And you mentioned they were playing with 4 skaters. Really, for a while there, they were playing with 3 because he had a teammate help him back to the bench.
Yeah, I think it was Dimoff who was trying to push, or Smith, I believe, that was trying to push him back towards the bench. So he was really struggling. Now a huge hit. Jenin gets hit, and that's going to be a boarding call. GBN to the power play. I believe that's going to be a boarding call. Lack of movement here.
We're still not seeing a call here right on Max.
Ben Stein, assistant coach for GBN, and did a couple games with us on the SHL network from time to time. He's trying to get a little energy back in these boys here for this power play upcoming.
There's one thing Ben Stein's good for. There's many things, Ben, because I know you're going to watch this later. Many things you're good for, but definitely going to bring the energy down on the GBN bench.
Absolutely. You can say that is one of his most important jobs of being team morale, being just so high energy, always believing in everyone, never not believing that his team is going to come out on top of the game.
Henry Fitzsimmons, the guilty party for Loyola, so back to the power play where GBN got a goal on their first chance. Here's just shot just over the crossbar. Dimoff backdoor, just misses the net. If he would have gotten that on net, it might have squeaked in. Now Smith checked right along, looking for an elbowing call, and that just hit the linesman in an uncomfortable spot. Everyone's taking hits here. That goes into the glove of Kasdan, and a collective groan emanates from the crowd.
Yes, Loyola was trying to ice that puck, but fortunate bounce for them to hit the referee, which stemmed that chance as we see the chance for Dimoff here.
Oh, Dimoff had a little bit of an angle. Haney did a good job of closing it quickly. Fortunately, it's the leg of the linesman and nothing worse. Shaking it off. He's staying in it. What are you laughing about over there, Loftus? I see you. Cameraman getting a good chuckle out of that brief injury. We play on here. Here's Smith. That's going to be just offside. Smith frustrated with himself on that. And you mentioned in the first period, just a little bit out of sync on the GBN side thus far tonight.
Yeah, I don't believe that was offsides, as I believe the puck was not touched by any GBN player. Should be delayed offsides, but again, yeah, the passing for GBN is just not there. No real true possession game for them so far.
See if Smith can get it started for the Spartans. Give Loyola a lot of credit. They've given no space in the middle of the ice. Really forced things to the outside. Defensively, much better look here from Loyola than when we saw him a couple of weeks ago against Lake Forest. Off the stick of Klein up into the netting, an offensive zone draw with 14:02 left in the second coming.
Noticing down there on the visitors' side of the rink, top row, plenty of Glenbrook South Titan players, probably doing a little scouting. Of course, a big game involving the Spartans and the Titans coming up on the SHL Network's Blackhawks rivalry series.
Don't forget, even before that, a big GBS Loyola game coming up at Allstate Arena in just about 10 days. So doing a little double scouting, I'm sure, of those Titans over in the corner. Face-off draw, won by Loyola and cleared by Cowan. 55 seconds left here on the power play for GBN.
Huge face-off win for Loyola with only a minute to go, killing off probably 15 to 30 seconds of this GBN power play remaining.
Quick touch pass from Jen into Just. Just skates into the high slot and a slick glove save from Haney with 13:41 left in the second.
We see the ability to create there from Owen Just. He needs a 2-on-2 rush to make a quick move to the middle and really take a great save from Haney with his glove to keep that puck out of the net.
36 remaining on the man advantage for GBN, and the shots starting to pile up for Loyola. They now lead 18-9 in the shot category. Dimoff can't keep this in at the blue line. Again cleared as St. John's going to pressure him. Now Dimoff on the rush. Eludes one defender. Now going around another. Just muscles off Finnegan. Just in the high slot. Gets to Smith. Smith's shot blocked out in front. Ryan Cowan able to get it along to his defenseman. That's cleared. And that will do it for the power play. Back to full strength is Loyola.
Yeah, we're really seeing GBN on the power play when they work that umbrella, almost get a guy carrying the puck from the wall to the middle. They're really getting good chances against this Loyola team. We'll look to see if they can attack that more if they get another power play.
Here's Siegel. Siegel looks cross ice to Henriksen. His shot blocked by Waltman. Katsamakis trying to keep the rush going. Rafalowski far point, gets it right back down below to Just. Just with a quick move below the goal, gets it on to Rafalowski. Centering pass to Sandler, he can't get a shot off. Back the other way comes Messina. Messina skates wide, his shot, active stick from Katsamakis deflects it. Kadlik recovers.
You mentioned active stick from Katsamakis. That's a real big point of emphasis for this GBN team. They want to be better at deflecting passes, deflecting shots.
Ooh, Will Steele, that same linesman, he's having a rough go of it. Cover, that almost took his head off. The officials are taking hits here left and right.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with it, but that is the linesman giving both teams a very tough time on face-off so far this game.
12:03 left here in the second period. 3-1 Loyola score. Aiden Siegel in frustration gets tossed out. Raflowski goes in. Cowan off the face-off. Didn't get much on that shot. Bain using that big body to clear some space. Shot to Kasdan. Brief rebound given up, but he falls on it. Offensive zone draw coming for Loyola.
You mentioned that face-off win. That is a play we actually have seen Stevenson use before a lot, but we saw Cowan get a real quick one-timer almost right off the face-off there. A huge save by Kasdan, another save as the puck moved to the other side.
Talk about the impact, too, of Siegel getting tossed out of the face-off draw there. Siegel, very good centerman, great on face-off draws. Rafalowski wasn't able to win it, and it came right to Cowan in the slot. Just to show you, now Joe Bear immediately gets tossed out. This linesman, you mentioned it, Andrew, kind of giving these centermen a hard time here tonight. Wilson trying to clear it, and stuff kept in by Joe Bear. Back up top, Cowan. Cowan looks, shoots, blocked out in front by Steiner. Deflects up into the ceiling, we'll get a draw.
We see Cowan kicking himself that puck got blocked. He is one of the best in the state of Illinois at getting his shots through multiple buys. It's why we see so many goals or assists coming from him.
Now face-off, comes dribbling into the slot. Cowan's backhanded shot comes loose to Bain. He had a rolling puck, couldn't get a shot in on Kasdan. Now Schoenberg eventually comes to Wilson. We're going to get a penalty. That's going to be a penalty against Cole Joe Bear, elbowing McCall. Can't say that I saw it. Attention was up the ice, but Cole Joe Bear is going to head to the box.
Yes, as we're going to get another look for this GBN power play. But again, we saw that exact same face-off play for Loyola. And it might have been the Loyola winger who deflected the puck there. As we're going to get to see if we can see the penalty here.
It's not going to be here. It's going to be coming right there. Oh, the elbow did get a little bit high there.
Maybe also a little bit late, too, probably added to the fact. But either way, GBN looking at the power play where, again, we can see if we can get Owen Just or Josh Jennings kind of curling from the half wall up to the middle of the ice, create a little bit of confusion in this Loyola penalty kill.
If you're Scott Sorrello over on the Loyola bench, that penalty 200 feet from your own goal has got to drive you nuts, especially hit possession at the point. Good offensive rush happening. There's another face-off win on the on the penalty kill, for Loyola. It's going to waste a good 25 seconds here.
We saw that last penalty kill as well for Loyola. Winning the face-offs is so crucial for now GBN having to go 200 feet instead of just being set up in the offensive zone.
Siegel gives on to Just. Just loses his skate as he's below the goal line, able to somehow keep the puck. Now Jenin to Just. Just side of the net, surveying his options. He's going to go back up to the point and Dimoff. His shot blocked out in front by Finnegan.
Can have that happen, have the puck leave the offensive zone, again having to reset. If worse comes to worse, put that puck back under deep, and you can reset your power play.
And again, gets a couple of fist bumps as he goes back to the bench on the penalty kill. Dimoff goes around one man, can't get around a second. Jenin will go rink wide. Here's Dimoff. Don't chip in, bouncing puck. Haney scrambling. Now Smith centering pass, but no one there for the Spartans. And cleared with 49 to go with the man advantage.
Again, we're seeing just kind of desperation plays made by GBN here. And when you're on the power play, you want to be calm and under control. Not really want to, make those blind passes or force things because you have time. You have to have patience to operate your power play.
Leaves it for Just. Siegel below the goal. Gets it right back to Just. Cross ice pass. Jenin can't handle it. It's the third or fourth time we've seen a really good pass from Just that has hit the stick of his forward. This shot goes wide. They just have not been able to even get a shot off, let alone a quality chance.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned not to get a shot off, so no second or third opportunity.
Backdoor Just. Smith stuffs it home, and they get the power play goal with 4 seconds left on the power play, and it's 3-2 with 9:28 left in the second.
That looks awfully similar to the play where we saw Dimoff have a chance on a power play before, as Smith just right place, right time, able to tuck that one home on Haney, as Haney was not able to get a good enough push, knowing that that puck's going to bounce off the end boards and come right back.
GBN able to narrow the gap to 3-2, and now 2 for 3 on the power play are the Spartans, so came into the game at 27.3%. We're going to make that number even better.
We were talking to Scott Sorrello pregame about how important it is to stay out of the box. GBN now has 5 power play goals against the last 4.5 periods they've played against the Ramblers.
It's just a remarkable number, and we talk about it on the SHL Network all the time. We ask coaches, we ask fans, we ask players. We have an ex-GBN player. What makes the GBN power play year in, year out the top of the league? It's every single year.
I think you have to give a lot of credit to Coach Evan Polkidas and just the system that they run and the way that they can do multiple things. It's not just one way to beat you, but I want to go back to a point you brought up. The penalty taken by Loyola was 200 feet away. And when you bring that up, you almost feel like the puck's going to end up in the back of Loyola's net.
There's Charlie Bain trying to win some momentum back for Loyola. But we're going to get a penalty right back the other way. Cross-check is the signal. I can't say, I thought if anything, maybe a hooking. Not sure I saw a cross-check, but either way, it's going to be Hendrickson heading into the box with 9:10 left to go in the second. And all of a sudden, we've gotten really special-teamy here in the second period.
Yes, and we saw Loyola run a really nice power play in their first opportunity. So we can see if GBN can get going on their kill or if Loyola will be able to get that puck to the front of the net with all sorts of bodies. Again, that was the recipe for success last time.
So a critical moment here. Loyola already leading by 1. Would love to get that 2-goal lead back. Fisher shot, he scores! He beat Kasdan over the glove.
We might have no goal. Oh, we're getting a penalty called. It's either on GBN. It might be on GBN.
It's going to be on GBN. I didn't see what you're referring to, but a power play goal, and Loyola's going to head right back to it.
But again, we see how important faceoffs are, especially on special teams. Clean win for Loyola.
Fisher winds up, and he just beats Kasdan over the glove.
You cannot get beat on faceoffs consistently, especially if there is a goal scored in a game off of a faceoff. That team will usually end up coming out on top. So crucial. We see Loyola being able to clear the puck on GBN's power play, and now we see them get set up right away on their power play.
So the second power play goal.
Guys, GBN's lined up with 5 skaters out there. Sorry to interrupt, Max.
No, that's a good call. They're going to have to get somebody off the ice. Go ahead, Dill. Siegel and Cowan now being conferenced by a referee and a linesman. Didn't see the penalty. Dylan, did you notice the penalty off that goal? It had to have happened.
It was so sudden after the goal. I think I was still in awe of that shot.
I think it happened on the faceoff. That's what I think the players were complaining, maybe from either the center or the defenseman. Katsumakis tied up on the faceoff, but
You're saying it was a delayed call?
yes, because GBN did not touch the puck.
Got it.
So regardless of the circumstance, a 2-goal lead for Loyola and another power play. Fisher leaves the Bane. Back to Fisher. His shot blocked out in front by Macinter. Short-handed now. He's got a look. He's got Schoenberg coming up the slot. Drags. Shoots. Just misses the near post.
Yeah, I really thought, especially after that toe drag, he could have gotten that puck to Schoenberg, who would have had a point-blank chance on Haney.
Hey, Andrew, would I be wrong to ask why they're on a power play here if they scored on a delayed penalty?
Because GBN was already penalty killing, so the guy that was in the box would come out, yes.
No dumb questions here on the SHL network, don't you worry. Lazy ones for sure, but no dumb ones. Here's Ryan Cowan, cross ice. Joe Bears one-timer, he couldn't get much on it. And the goal comes off its posts.
Real good looks from Loyola so far on this power play. So we're going to get a replay wide open on the back door as Joe Bear just fanned on the shot, but real good sight if you're the Loyola Gold Faithful, seeing their power play really get going right now.
Got a great look of it there from the Trier Hockey goal cam. Thank the Trier Hockey Club for stepping up and sponsoring that. That is not cheap equipment in order to make that goal cam work, but they stepped up and sponsored it. So big thank you to the Trier Hockey Club, and they'll get their first taste of that great goal cam here in just about 2 weeks. Now Klein plays it below to Messina. 40 seconds to go on the power play here for Loyola. Steele calling for it. Klein blows a tire. Now Sipe. Right back to Klein. He looks, shoots, looking for a deflection. Kasdan fought it off into the corner. 24 left on the power play. Steele's shot. And a quick whistle from the referee as Kasdan didn't quite have that puck secured. Break for GBN, an offensive zone draw to come for Loyola.
And you could hear a big ooh, not just on the GBN bench, but the Loyola bench as well.
Yes, pretty good chance there for Loyola as that puck's sitting right in front with St. John, but again, back to a face-off. We'll see this is a huge face-off with 20 seconds to go on the power play.
Nate Kasdan's got to walk back in a little bit. He's been a bit sloppy in his net here the last 15 minutes of game time or so after heaping such great praise on him in the first period. Consummate broadcaster's jinx. Now Sipe goes around Smith. He's got St. John come up the slot. Sipe scores! A sharp angle roof shot from Chris Sipe. And another power play goal. It's 5-2.
Some goalie coaches are falling over right now, complaining about the RVH. As we see, Nate Kasdan went down to his RVH real early there, which exposes the top right corner of the net.
Stirring at the edge of the GBN bench. Michael Raderman getting loose. Not sure if he's coming in or he's just getting prepared, but it has been a rough evening thus far for Nate Kasdan.
And by the way, guys, just as the time expired on the penalty was when the goal happened. So it'll go in the books as an even strengther, but for all intents and purposes, that was a power play goal.
Very good. Thank you, Dylan. Is another chance for Bain in front. Not able to get a shot off. 5-2 our score. Loyola really since about the 8-minute mark of the first period has controlled action up and down the ice. Now shots on goal is a 24-12 lead for Loyola.
Especially you have to think if they were able to stay out of the penalty box where this game would be right now, as that was a point of emphasis coming in.
No doubt about it, but I think we're seeing here between the game a couple of nights ago and, of course, here tonight, Loyola's offense starting to wake up. We've seen not just sloppy goals, we've seen nice ones. Sipes' goal from a sharp angle, that's some serious skill. Obviously, we had the one that went between the legs of Kasdan, but there's been several nice offensive plays that have led to goal for Loyola.
And this isn't a surprise to anybody on the Loyola goal bench right now. As mentioned, they feel they were playing really good hockey before this. It was just a few little things that they needed to work on. This is a huge step in the right direction for them.
5:35 left here in the second period, and what was a very animated home GBN crowd here on Northbrook Blue Hawk night has been silenced by these Ramblers, who are playing just a complete game up and down the ice right now. There's a shot from Nelson, stopped in front by Jenin. Jenin trying to get it to Just, but an alert play by Nelson. Big hit by Dimoff. Well, bench wanted a penalty. They're not going to get one.
Play from Dimoff there to deliver the big hit.
Oh, another huge hit from Owen Just as Gabal goes into the boards.
And you have to feel that's either frustration or just trying to ignite the GBN bench. Try to get everybody going. Try to get a quick goal here, and then you get a power play. You feel like you're right back into this game. That's what the mindset has to be for this GBN team.
Guys, we've got a goalie change. Michael Reiderman coming in after Kasdan allows 5 goals on 24 shots.
Michael Reiderman, the sophomore goaltender for this GBN side, who really came into the season with a lot of expectations.
Has a little history against Loyola Gold, too. Was called up for the SHL playoffs last year and made, I believe, close to 40 saves in a 2-1 loss.
I was at that game. It was an outstanding performance by Reiderman as a freshman. A lot of expectations for that young man. This is going to be an icing and a face-off draw back in the defensive zone of GBN.
As Reiderman still continues to get loose, but again, GBN just not really able to generate very much 5-on-5 at this point in time. It seems like Loyola is one step ahead in all areas of the game right now.
Face off here, won by GBN. Smith looks for Kane. He can't handle it, and it'll go all the way to Cowan at center ice. Klein chips it along. Cypher's trying to pry it free. Instead, it's Fitzsimmons, who flutters one in on Reiderman, who blockers it away. Katsamakis misses his man. Cowan's going to be able to keep it in for the Ramblers. DJ Long below the goal, trying to get it back to the point and Klein. Steiner's able to escort it out for GBN.
Where we're seeing lots of layers where it seems like GBN just never has an inch of space, we're not seeing really good support of the puck by GBN, as it seems like Loyola will break through one layer and they'll have all the space in the world.
Katsamakis. And we get an errant whistle, and I think the linesman put his hands up and said, "That's on me."
And the puck rolled a little bit on the top edge of the glass. I mean, it stays in bounds to me. I believe that is the rule.
Yeah, that's absolutely the rule. I think you saw the linesman put his arms up right away. It's, "My bad, guys. That's on me." Quick whistle.
Not the first time we've seen a quick whistle from this crew this game as well.
One thing that I think I saw a grand total of 0 times last year was a accidental whistle on an icing call while the team was on a short-handed look, and I think I've seen that 2 or 3 times so far this season.
We saw that in the game of the week earlier this season. I don't know that I've ever seen a bench more disgusted than a team on the penalty kill that cleared and gets blown for an icing. Now Waltman at a sharp angle, blocked by Rossi. Centering pass. Finnegan couldn't get a shot off. Rafalowski in the center. Rafalowski cut off by Messina. Back the other way come the Ramblers. Waltman's going to head in on the forecheck. Altman wins the puck. Backhanded shot across the crease, but no one there for the Ramblers. 3:08 left here in the second period. Sipe along the far half wall. He's looking for an angle. Going to try a wraparound. Gets his stick stuck. Comes to Kadlik. Now Waltman centering pass, but Rossi there to cut off the angle. He loses it. Sipe gets it across to Messina. I don't think Messina was expecting the pass there, but he was wide open.
Yeah, real good look there from Sipe. But again, can't have these turnovers if you're GBN, especially right in front of your net. That is a recipe for disaster, as that would be a real tough first save for Michael Raderman as well, just entering the game.
Yeah, see there that I just don't think Messina was expecting the puck, but if he had have been a prime opportunity for 8 and white. 2:47 left here in the second period, a 5-2 Loyola lead, and frankly a game that they've been dominating here the last 20 minutes of game time. GBN looking for something to change the script. Takes a crazy bounce to the GBN advantage, but quickly taking it away is Klein. He swipes it all the way down ice, and that'll be an icing.
Fortunately for GBN, that puck was on edge, as the ice is really starting to get chewed up here towards the end of the second.
Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels. You saw Instagram there, Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor, hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe. That would be a big help for us. We appreciate all you great SHL fans out there, and I can tell you the numbers just continue to grow. The following that this league has continues to grow. And thank all you great fans out there for tuning in. Katsamakis can't keep the puck in at the point. He's got to leisurely go back to his blue line, but he turns it over, and Baines is going to drop it deep.
Looks like we're getting another shift of Cowan at forward here for Loyola.
It's an interesting dynamic to plan for as a coaching staff, right? I mean, Cowan's just such a dynamic player, and one shift at defense, one shift at forward. Here's Klein, his shot. Pad save by Raderman, but as far as line matching goes and the matchups you're looking for, it makes it a little bit difficult on a coaching staff as well. Here's a shot deflected wide.
Yeah, we don't really see it very much here in the SHL. Just some players that come to mind are David Wilcox and Tim Burke did it for GBN, and Zach Wesley also did it as Stevenson. But it's a matchup nightmare because, you know, especially as the home team GBN getting last change, you got your forwards and your defensemen that you normally want to have out there against him. But when he moves to forward now, it's almost like everything gets flipped on its head.
Definitely an added twist for this GBN coaching staff to have to prepare for it. Conversely, on the Loyola side, you can really create some matchup nightmares when you do that. Face off one initially was Fitzsimmons that had the puck. He couldn't carry it on. Comes to Just. He ships it up the boards. Now Jenin trying to catch up to it. It's Dimoff that takes the puck. Jenin gets back to Smith at the point. Smith winds up. Deflection in front from Just, but not enough juice on that deflection to get by Haney.
Again, right there, we see a good initial drive and deflection by Owen Just, but we need another GBN player to get that rebound there from Haney. That GBN's just not getting enough bodies to the front of the net.
1 minute left here in the second period. Dimoff to Smith. Smith's shot. Rebound in front. Just follows it up. Another save by Haney. And he keeps it out. Dimoff lost his stick. He couldn't be any help. Here's Cyphers. That should have been too many men on the ice. The Loyola side certainly wanted it. We don't get a call. We'll stay 5-on-5 with 43 left in the second.
Real good chance here from GBN. Real good saves as well from Braden Haney, as Dimoff and Just there in front of the net to get that rebound. And it looks like Dimoff's stick actually broke as to why he had to drop his stick. Just real unfortunate for GBN.
Quick update from around the SHL. The only other SHL game going on tonight is Barrington and New Trier. Of course, the last two times those two teams met, Barrington got their first SHL win in almost 2 years. Well, tonight, with 6 minutes left in the second period, it's 1-1. So another competitive game between the Broncos and the Trevians. Here's Smith. His shot flutters wide. Cypher's trying to follow it up. Just with a check. Now Jenin with 25 remaining in the period. Hands off to Just. Cypher's wrestling for position in front of the net. Finnegan just not letting him set up. Backhanded shot as just went to the ice. Good left pad save from Haney. And Messina able to clear. Fortunate bounce. Puck comes to Waltman. Waltman breaking away. Sprawling effort by Cyphers. Or else Waltman would have been in on himself. 5 seconds remaining in the period. It looks like Ryan Cowan's just going to be content to take that lead to the locker room. He will. A 5-2 lead after 2 periods. Andrew, no other way to say it than a game being dominated by Loyola Gold right now.
Especially 5-on-5, all Loyola Gold. GBN's gotten 2 power play goals to their benefit. But you have to feel Loyola's going in. Scott Sproul is going to say, stay out of the penalty box, and this is our game to win. As GBN has had no answer for this Loyola Gold team.
So we're going to step aside, catch our breath, come back with third period action in just a couple of minutes right here on your home for the SHL Game of the Week, YouTube Live. The SHL Network is brought to you by Uline, the shipping and industrial supply specialists, CCTY Bearing, Christopher Burke Engineering, Wintrust Bank, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust community bank. Chicagoland Habitat for Humanity, Kramer Construction, and Schmidt Goaltending. Welcome back live to Northbrook Ice Center for the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. Dylan Ward down on ice level. Andrew Rubin to my right. I'm Max Anderson with all the live game action for you here on this matchup between Loyola and Glenbrook North. Loyola leads 5-2 entering the third period. For more on how GBN's going to look to come back in this game on home ice, we're going to send it down to ice level where Dylan's standing by with GBN head coach Evan Pulakitas. Dylan.
Thanks, guys. Coach, want to focus on a positive here. In your last 5 periods against Loyola, 5 power play goals. What's led to the success on the man advantage?
We changed some people and changed a little of our system and getting, really great work from our point men setting up our power play. So, but got to score 5-on-5, and we're really struggling at that. And, Loyola came out and played with a purpose, and we didn't meet their passion. So, try to win this period and see what happens.
All right, real quick, Michael Reiderman comes in relief. Tell me what he means to this GBN program.
Well, Kazin's been playing great. I just thought, to change up to see if that gave us a spark. And, there wasn't really anything to what Kazin did. Michael's been out for a while, so we gave him some minutes. We have a big weekend coming here, and so, we'll see.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Good luck. Back to you.
Yeah, clearly trying to keep somewhat of a positive message on the bench, but you can just tell the facial expression. Me and you have been around Evan Pulakitas long enough to just know he is just not happy at all with the effort, and if they're going to come back, it's going to take a big effort here in the third period.
Yes, and there's no better start for GBN to have that intermission to refocus, kind of everybody realize what's going on. You have to expect a big first shift coming from GBN. Not exactly a goal, but a high energy, high effort shift. And if you're Loyola, I'm sure Scott Terrell is expecting that this is going to be one of GBN's biggest pushes right now to start this period. This shift is so important for the rest of this game.
Meanwhile, you talked about it on the Loyola side. The process had been there. The results hadn't been for Loyola. Well, process continues to be there. And boy, have the results been there for the Ramblers so far through 2 periods.
That's why they were just so excited about the way they were playing these last 6 games. And this is really a big stepping stone. I bet you if you ask them, they feel like they could still be playing even better, staying out of the penalty box even more.
Now Bain is Sipe coming up on clean ice, gets a centering pass, can't put it on net. Chris Sipe shot out of a cannon, and quickly an offensive chance for Loyola turned aside by Raderman. Dimoff tied up as he enters the zone by Sipe. It'll be Ryan Cowan, captain for Loyola Gold, 4-year gold player for this Loyola program. He missed a pregame. Scott Sorrello can't say enough good things. He's borderline speechless when it comes to Cowan. Nice move by Dimoff. Backhanded shot. Just misses the net.
Good pass from Just up to Dimoff to start that rush.
Centering pass in the slot, but Siegel couldn't get a shot off. Here's Bain back the other way. And Samakis able to pry it free. Now Smith. Smith carries forward. Waltman trying to take the puck off his stick. Steele blocks that shot and comes around to Waltman. That's going to be just offsides. Messina's skate crossed that blue line just a little too early, and we'll have a neutral zone draw to come with 15:45 to go in the third.
Positive side for GBN there is they were much more cleaner on their breakouts to get a lot of more open ice as they're entering the zone against Loyola. Kind of a slow start, though, energy-wise, for both teams kind of feeling each other out to start this third period.
Face off. Eventually it's Kadlik that tries to fire that in deep. Knocked down by Schoenberg. Finally deep. Wilson plays up to Schoenberg. Shuttles it along to Jenin. Now Sandler and Hendrickson's going to knock that down, but not out.
We're going to get offsides.
Another neutral zone draw to come. So I think we're both awaiting a push from GBN. Haven't seen it here through 90 seconds. It looks a lot of the same here from Loyola, controlling possession, and this Loyola Gold team. Finnegan again. It's the second or third time Finnegan's tossed out of the draw, and it really has no idea why.
These linesmen are just really picky when it comes to how their guys are lining up for draws.
So Wilson there trying to start some energy for the Spartans, trying to throw a big hit around. Now another big hit on Waltman.
What about the toe dangles there for Waltman on that neutral zone entry?
He took a hit for it, no question. Nice move. Took a hit to finish it. Sandler on the forward track. Good stick lift of Steele. Henriksen's going to pinch in here. GBN getting aggressive early in the third period. Kept in, no. Forced out finally at the blue line. New Trier's taking a 2-1 lead on Barrington with 6:40 left in the third period, and the only other SHL game going on tonight. We've got a note here that says New Trier's out shooting Barrington 42-9 here tonight, but only lead 2-1 late in the third period.
Could just be one of those teams that always give you problems no matter the situation.
Sipe trying to clear the puck, not able to. Across to Cyphers, not in his wheelhouse, trying to get it across. And if that exchange right there, Andrew, isn't the story of GBN's night, just not connecting on passes when they are hitting their guy, it's in the wrong shooting shape. It's just been a messy offensive night for the Spartans.
Almost been the opposite of what has been happening for both teams. GBN came in 13 goals in their last 2 games. And as we mentioned, Loyola just felt like the little things just weren't clicking enough for them.
Yeah, you forget about the game before this Loyola game. It was an 8-3 Stevenson win for GBN, so you mentioned it, scoring tons of goals, and I don't care what you say about Stevenson. Anytime you put up 8 goals on that team, that is an impressive offensive performance. Have not seen that tonight from the Spartans. Smith stands a man up at the blue line. Volleys it off the board. Siegel to Misinter. Misinter kind of at the end of a long shift. We'll give one more rush here. Katsamakis keeps it in at the far point. His shot easily into the glove of Braden Haney, who other than those 2 power play goals has been absolutely perfect in net for Loyola. Neither of those goals either, Andrew, really the fault of his.
Absolutely not. He has been locked in from the moment here. As mentioned before, 953 save percentage is incredible here in SHL. Only giving up 9 goals through the 6 games prior to this one.
I mean, to only give up 9 goals on almost 200 shots coming into this game, just incredibly impressive this far from the alternate captain in net, Braden Haney. And don't forget, some reinforcements coming at some point in this season for Loyola. Once that football season ends, Garvin St. John and Mikey Baker will join this team as well. So this is often the case for this Loyola team. Usually a couple of guys that are on that football team that always makes deep runs into the playoffs.
Yeah, so it'll just be a matter of when Loyola loses in the playoffs. If they lose, as they have won multiple state championships.
Here's a centering pass and just missing. I remember last year when Loyola got knocked out of the playoffs. I think we did a game 2 days after, and Mikey Baker was already out there for anytime. Now GBN with a 2-on-1. Here's just as Dimoff. Dimoff shoots. He scores! Michael Dimoff on the 2-on-1 buries the goal and brings GBN within 2 goals with 11:54 left in the third.
An incredible saucer pass here from Owen Just to put that right in the wheelhouse of Michael Dimoff. As mentioned, SHL leader in goals, and he makes no mistake there as he buries that one on Haiti. And now all of a sudden things get interesting here with a 2-goal game with just under 12 minutes to go.
Quick snap of the wrist from Dimoff. Just got that over the glove of Haney. So with 11:54 left to go in the third, is that the spark that GBN needs offensively? Finally get that 5-on-5 goal that Evan Polikitis was calling for there before the third period. See if that unlocks here for GBN. We had an instant classic just a couple of nights ago.
Also take note, Loyola had a 3-1 lead entering that third period, which GBN was able to score 3 unanswered goals.
So we'll see what the rest of this period has in store. Joe Bear's cross-ice pass just past the stick of Bain. Now Bain below the goal, trying to get to Joe Bear, but Shaylin's taken down. Steiner trying to catch up to that puck. Instead, it's kept in. Looking for a penalty is the GBN bench. Furious with the lack of a call, but we're going to get a whistle.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That really looked like interference as Steiner was driven into the boards, never touching the puck. And really the Loyola player had the puck.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw a brief look at there on the replay. I think Jimmy's queuing up another one here. Yeah, Steiner, certainly that could have been interference.
And that's not what you want to see as Loyola giving up that goal. If GBN can get a power play here, things will get real tight on that Loyola bench, as we know how lethal that GBN power play can be.
Here's a shot from Kadlik, knocked down in front. Sipe tried to backhand it past to Bain. He couldn't get it to go where he wanted. Fisher calling for it back at the near point. Instead, Bain drops it below to Sipe. Joe Bear jockeying for position in front. Here's Kadlik. His shot deflected in front by Joe Bear. Bain collects below the goal. That goes through a bunch of bodies. Here's Kadlik's shot, deflects up over the crossbar. Fisher near wall, keeps it in for the moment. Eventually Macinter forces it out. Now Macinter leads the rush. Trying to get the puck towards net. Kane jockeying for position. Sandler comes up with the puck, far boards. Kadlik digs it out. Here's Sipe. Plays on to Bain. Sipe does a nice job staying on side, and he'll go for a change.
Real good shift from Loyola there with a lot of pressure on GBN to start probably for a minute after that offensive zone face-off.
Macinter dumps that puck down. He'll go for a change. Comes to Valdez. Valdez hassled the entire way by Sandler. He'll backhand it forward to Holton. Smith whacking away at Holton, trying to pry that puck loose. Dimoff there to help as well. Eventually comes to Dimoff, and he takes a hit in order to clear that puck. Justin Cowan, two of the best in the league, come together right in front of the GBN bench. Holton slaps it off the glass. That face-off draw is going to come into the neutral zone with 9:40 left in the third.
And you see Justin Cowan get together. An unknown fact is they actually played together growing up as well. Both really good friends, but there are no friends on the other team when the game is going on.
Neutral zone draw here between Finnegan and Siegel. And I think that's the fourth, fifth time Siegel's now been thrown out of the face-off dot. He just throws his hands up. Andrew, take us through a little bit what this line's been seeing that continues to happen.
So maybe they're just not getting their sticks set in the right position, or it could also be something that has to do with the wings. But what I would do is if I were either centers, I would get to know the linesman, see what he's looking for, because you don't want to be just continuously getting kicked out of the face-off. You're almost just hurting your team, but it's going both ways for these teams.
Here's Dimoff with speed, goes around one man, and lack of spacing as Siegel gets in the way of Dimoff, and that's the lack of coordination. Dimoff had some speed and space, and 16 and 17 just weren't on the same page.
Yeah, Dimoff really had some serious speed. We saw him go by, it looked like two Loyola defenders, as that was going to be a big rush, but just offside slowed it down.
9:05 to go in the third. Hendrickson dumps that down. Siegel going to give it chase. Kadlik there to cut off the angle. Quickly, Messina's going to be able to clear it. Starting to see the GBN side really start to lean forward on offense. Seeing a little bit more possession here in the third. Stretch pass misses everybody. That will go the length for icing, as Fitzsimmons just couldn't reach that puck.
Good look from the Loyola defenseman there. Probably just 1 foot, 2 feet maybe away from having a breakaway to make this game 6-3.
8:42 left in the third period. Still a 13-shot advantage for Loyola in shots on goal, 33-20, the scoreboard tells us. Good win by Schoenberg on the faceoff. Deflection in front by Rafalowski. Good positioning from Haney, keeps it out and cleared by Loyola. Smith and Long coming together in the near corner. Eventually Smith digs it out, chips it along to Cyphers. Cyphers going to get the center ice, send it in deep, give Rafalowski a chance on the forecheck. Fisher bluffs a pass, and Cyphers able to win the puck. Centering, chance, almost deflects into the net. Haney scrambling a stuff attempt. Schoenberg couldn't get it to go. Awkward move there. Here's Cypher's shot, deflected off a stick. Bouncing, still loose in the slot. Backhanded shot, hit a skate in front. GBN really pushing now, looking to narrow that lead. This is going to be cleared by Loyola and an icing.
How about the puck absolutely threading the needle through some of the stanchions in the ceiling here?
You had to have a perfect angle on that. I was waiting to hear a whistle. I was like, there's no way that didn't hit something.
Satisfying to watch that from my angle.
As mentioned, the low catwalks here at Northbrook. Almost physically impossible, it seems like, for the puck to take the route that did and end up right on net at Braden Haney.
Still marveling a little bit. Here's a big left-handed shot from Wilson, cleanly through to Haney, and he buries it down and will take a whistle.
We're starting to see more face-off wins for GBN as well, back-to-back offensive zone face-offs that have led to chances.
Another face-off win as Wilson puts it below the goal. Here's Sipe, chips it along to Joe Bear. Loyola all of a sudden having all kinds of trouble getting the puck cleanly out of their own zone.
I think a testament also to the GBN forecheck as well.
It's the best we've seen it all night by far, no question about it. Kept in again by Wilson, winds up, shoots, blocked in front by Bain. It's by far the best shift we've seen all night from Wilson, getting things started on the GBN side. Here's Katsamakis. The center tried to shuffle it along. Dangerous pass, was looking for Sandler. Fortunate it comes to the stick of Katsamakis for GBN. Katsamakis circles, waiting for some help. He stops, looking for something in front of the net. Jennings' shot just slides by the crease. Sandler back to get the puck. 6:40 left in the third period. A final in Wilmette, a 4-1 victory for New Trier over Barrington. Meanwhile, here it's a 2-goal game with 6:30 left in the third period. Jenin trying to thread through the legs of Holton. Instead, it's Kadlik. Kadlik looks, shot blocked by Katsamakis. Now just along the far half wall.
We're seeing recently a push from Loyola playing in GBN zone. You wonder if they let up a little bit, seeing that they were up 2 goals with the time left on the clock, but looks like they're getting right back to their game plan.
Kadlik tried to keep that in for Loyola. Instead, it'll go all the way down ice, and GBN able to get 4 fresh bodies on the ice. There's Justin Siegel putting some pressure, but a nifty play by Fisher. He's able to thread the needle and get the puck out. Here's Fisher again. Just gives him a good whack on the shin guards. Fisher trying to toe drag around a couple of defensemen. It's the third one, not able to. Here's Just rink wide. Just looks, shoots, blocked away by Haney. Fisher digs it out again. Here's Fitzsimmons along the near half wall. He's able to force the puck out. And Dimoff back to reset for GBN. 5:08 left in the third period. 5-3 Loyola leads. Here's Cowan settling the puck, tries to get it to Waltman. He can't handle it around his own blue line, so it comes to Smith at his own blue line. And rink wide to Just. Good stick by Klein. We've seen Just go around many a defenders, not on Klein that time, as this shot deflects up into the netting. And with 4:40 left in the third, offensive zone draw to come.
And Andrew, you've played under the direction of Glenbrook North head coach Evan Polakidis for years. When do you think he's going to go ahead and pull the goalie, assuming the score stays the same?
I would probably say around the 3-minute mark if the score stays the same, because he's going to want to get his guys out there with at least 1 to 2 chances with the extra man. But I want to go back to the point you brought up, Max. A huge play by Klein there was if he doesn't deflect that puck from Owen Just, GBN's on an odd man rush, and there's a real good chance that puck ends up in the back of the Loyola net.
No doubt about it. We've seen Just do that to players many a game. As that puck misses everybody, it'll be an icing and an offensive zone draw to come for Loyola.
One positive for GBN as well as Pierce, we have not really seen much offense from Loyola. Barely any shots on Michael Radom in this whole period.
Can't really think of one, to be honest with you. Certainly something GBN's going to want to go back and study this third period, because you're right, defensively it's been much, much better. And as corny and cliche as it sounds, it's been because their offense has put pressure on defense, and sometimes, what do they always say? The best defense can be a good offense, and that's been the case here for GBN in the third.
It's been real difficult for Loyola to move the puck 100 feet, let alone 200 feet to generate offense.
Raderman has to squeeze this one as it came bouncing in on him with 4:04 left in the third. Our next SHL game of the week, don't forget, will be a week from tonight. It'll be Stevenson, and we'll be back up north in Lake Forest. Second time we'll get to be up at Lake Forest College in that beautiful facility up just about 25 minutes north of here. Bunch of big contests coming up over the next couple of weeks. We mentioned the first Wolves series game at Allstate Arena will happen 10 days from today on the 12th. Here's a centering pass to Joe Bear, and he can't handle it. But
I also believe that Lake Forest-Stevenson matchup is a matchup of the very first SHL game played this year.
You are correct about that. That is absolutely the case. Here's Rafalowski. He can't get a shot in on net.
3-1 final for Stevenson in that one.
So, of course, we've got that Wolves game on the 12th. Got the second Wolves game on the 20th. Or excuse me, the first Wolves game on the 13th Sunday, following the Wolves game. The second one will be a rematch of the state championship between St. Viator and Stevenson. That game will happen on the 20th at Allstate Arena.
I believe those teams have started their own rivalry series as well, similar to GBN, GBS, Loyola, New Trier, Stevenson, St. Viator.
Here's Joe Bear with a breakaway opportunity, all alone. Backhand shoots. Pad save by Raderman. And that's a good candidate for our Schmidt goaltending save of the game. In fact, I think we're ready to announce it. That is our Schmidt goaltending save of the game. Michael Raderman on the breakaway kicks that left pad out and keeps this GBN team in the game with 2:57 left in the period. Of course, the save of the game brought to you by Schmidt Goaltending. Visit schmidtgoaltending.com and use promo code SHL to get up to 20% off private lessons or any product in the online store.
If GBN comes back to tie this game, you are going to have to remember that save by Michael Raderman. And don't go anywhere. As mentioned, there were 2 goals scored in under a minute, about 3 goals scored in under a minute the last time these teams played each other.
It's funny you mentioned one of the reasons Siegel might have been getting knocked out of the face-off draw is this shot from Fisher. Finnegan backhanded shot. Right's pad save by Raderman. Here's a shot from Messina. Looked like that hit the netting, but we'll play on. Just able to clear it. But, Andrew, you talked about it a couple of minutes ago. One of the reasons that we've seen all these players get knocked out of the face-off draw, stick not on the ice. I don't know if you noticed on that last face-off draw, Just in disgust, just kind of had his stick laying on the ice. Didn't even really go for the face-off draw. Almost felt like a mini protest on the side of Owen Just, who said, okay, is my stick on the ice now?
Yes.
We'll be able to go back and take a look at it. It's kind of funny.
As a former centerman, I would always alert the people if their sticks were not on the ice, because it is. You can see Finnegan right now with his stick up. It's an unfair advantage.
Now, brilliant pass. Dimoff with a breakaway chance. He shoots. He scores! Michael Dimoff with 2:27 to go in the third brings GBN within 1. What a brilliant pass from the defensive zone to set up Dimoff.
I can tell you that is a set play called by Evan Polakidis off the defensive zone faceoff. We see the speed of Michael Dimoff as he's able to just beat everyone down the ice to that play. As a huge faceoff win by Aiden Siegel as well to set up that play. But with 2:30 to go, do not go anywhere, folks, as this game has gotten so much closer.
Michael Dimoff just continues his torrid pace of goals for Dimoff. That's now 10 and 11 on the season. And did I hear you say it was Aiden Siegel who had that pass off of the boards? Just cannot thread the needle any better than that by 16 in black and green.
I think Siegel won the faceoff. It was Smith that fed it off the boards. But as a former GBN player, I can tell you that play is practiced all the time.
Offside's the call. So 2:10 left in the third period. GBN trails by a goal, and Just like 2 nights ago, they're looking to come all the way back. They trailed by 3 to start the third period. It's a 1-goal game.
Not only that, but things are setting up nice for GBN. They got their top line out right now with about 2:10 to go. You have to assume they're going to get the goalie pulled soon. But sure enough, they can use their timeout, and they're going to have these top guys out there for these final 2 minutes, giving them the best chance to win.
Andrew, I don't blame you guys for not noticing, but Reiderman was in full sprint mode just as Dimov was in sprint mode on his breakaway.
Now Loyola's looking for a penalty and a blatant trip interference. We're not going to get a call as Dimov was completely taken out.
As Cole Jobert's slow to get up.
153 wraparound tip, puck just waiting. Turned over, Sipe shot just over the crossbar. 1:45 to go in the third. GBN looking for some possession so they can get Reiderman out of there. Not yet, just gets it deep. Cowan gets possession, so Reiderman's still in his net, waiting for some GBN possession. Now 1:30 to go. Chipped in deep, Smith back to get it for GBN.
GBN having some trouble getting organized here.
Now Katsamakis gets it on the breakout. Finnegan with a good poke check, able to get it free. Comes to Siegel. Siegel can't get it to Just, and again, Ryan Cowan's got some possession. Finnegan short of center ice. Well, we get a wave from the far side linesman. Thought that was going to be an icing, Andrew.
Not sure if that puck tip off of Smith. Maybe you had a better look, Dylan.
No, I did not see that one. Sorry, guys.
50 seconds to go in the third period. Reiderman still can't get out of his net. Great pressure right now by Loyola. Good stretch pass from Misinter. There goes Reiderman. Reiderman heads to the bench, cross ice, just tied up in the slot. Puck still bouncing around. Can't get it. Trying to clear it is Jobert. Katsamakis keeps it in. 30 seconds to go, empty net. And Loyola's going to be able to clear. Smith settles it at center ice. Here's Katsamakis. Plays on to Siegel. Here's Owen Just. Just trying to get a shot off. Now Siegel, backhanded shot, he scores! Aiden Siegel gets the game tire with 16 seconds left in the third period. It's 5-5.
Incredible effort all around from GBN. Owen Just took this puck all the way to the front of the net where he almost got a shot to tie the game, and Aiden Siegel smartly just follows the play, and he is able to collect that loose puck and tie this game with 16 seconds to go. If you're a Loyola fan, you're having nightmares. But we got 16 seconds before this game even gets to overtime. Both teams have to refocus. It looks like GBN is going to call a timeout.
And I think that's a great timeout on the GBN side. You got to focus right back in here. As emotional and exciting as that was, 16.3 to get to overtime. You don't want all of that hard work to get back to be for naught.
You're spot on, Max. And GBN's top players were really winded after that time. They were out there for almost 2 minutes. You want to have your top guys out here for these final 16 seconds. And again, Loyola scored after GBN took the lead last time with about 20 seconds left. So GBN is obviously going to be aware of that as well. And you have to feel for Michael Reiderman. He's got to get locked into this game. He's not seen very much action.
Guys, the bench absolutely ecstatic, especially Ben Stein just taking laps on the bench right after that goal. But, I mean, look at this. We talked about last game between these two teams that was played on Saturday and how high scoring it was. We're moments away from going to overtime again at the same score.
We've talked about the comeback here for Loyola, or excuse me, for GBN. If you're Loyola, you've got to lock in here. You've played a really good game through, call it about 45 minutes here tonight. We talked about it, really controlled most of this game, looked like the Loyola goal everyone was expecting, and just in the last couple of minutes here, GBN got the one goal, then the breakaway goal, and then an absolutely heart, hustle, and muscle goal there from Siegel. 16 seconds to go, might be headed to overtime.
Don't speak too soon, though, on that.
That's going to be icing against Loyola, so with 10.4 left in the third period, GBN, with all of the momentum in this game right now, going to get an offensive zone draw.
We'll see if they dial up a play here as we see Owen Just hop on the ice off the bench.
And Andrew, all I could think about is that game unfolded Saturday night, and I heard about it from coaches, from players, from fans around the league about how amazing the game was. We entered the third period 5-2, and I'm thinking, oh, man, we didn't get a good game here. Boy, was I proven wrong. Here's Just off the face-off. Fires blocked out in front by Steele.
if you're Loyola, that should be exactly what you're looking for. As time looks like it's going to expire, but a block shot from Steele is a perfect thing to get your team fired up, but just not a lot of energy from Loyola, as it's real tough to find after that comeback from GBN.
So 2 goals for Siegel, 2 goals for Dimoff, and a goal for Jacob Smith. On the Loyola side, it's a goal for Will Steele, a goal for Charlie Bain, goal for Nathan Cadlick, goal for Aiden Fisher, and finally Chris Sipe. It is a 5-5 score here on rivalry night in Northbrook. Boys, we get 5 minutes extra hockey at least.
And guys, this is also a big point for Loyola as well to keep that one. I mean, GBN has all the momentum right now, but for the Ramblers, they're having a tough start to the season by their own standards. So they get a point out of this one. An even bigger point for GBN here. Another one on the line. And also just wanted to throw out, of course, we switch sides here in overtime. Not every SHL game does that. I don't know if the coaches have a mutual agreement, but here with the president of the league behind the bench of Glenbrook North, we're going to have that. And Andrew, you could talk about it a lot better than I can as a former player, but the long change makes a big deal, is a big deal in 3-on-3.
It can work to your favor or it can be hurtful, but we saw Michael Dimoff come off the bench last time, late on a change, and he got a puck just as he hopped on the ice and was open for a breakaway. As, again, both these teams have lots of experience so far in overtime and shootouts.
So 3-on-3 is our overtime. Sudden death, 5 minutes up on the clock. If you're new around here and wondering, should we go through 5 minutes? We would go to a sudden death shootout. So that's the OT setup here. And starting for GBN is going to be Smith, Siegel, and Sandler, excuse me. And on the other side, it's Ryan Cowan, Fisher, and Charlie Bain.
3-on-3 obviously favors the speedier players, the more crafty ones.
Sandler splits a couple of defenders, centering pass comes to Smith. Smith looks, shoots, glove saved by Bain with 4:29 remaining in the 4th period.
Also just want to throw it in there, Max, that you deeming that save by Raderman the save of the game means so much more now.
You called it, Andrew, as soon as I called that save. Remember that one. They were still down 2 at that point, I believe, with about 3 minutes left in the game. And you absolutely nailed it. And good reminder, Dylan, that is GBN, I mean, just getting a point alone, let alone if they're able to win this game, it's going to be that left pad of Raderman.
You're spot on, Max. And again, it seems like everything we've been talking about came back for those last 5 minutes.
Can Loyola flip the script? All the momentum here on a home ice for GBN on their Northbrook Blue Hawks night. Loyola had silenced this home crowd through 2 periods. GBN team dug down deep, got all the way back. Now who's going to win it in OT? Here's Cadlick. Cadlick looking, Joe Bear's waiting for it. Cadlick does a little spin move. Smith walls him off and able to win it. Nice defensive play by Jacob Smith.
Great anticipation from Smith, too, seeing that spin move.
Here's Owen Just with speed, enters the zone. He shoots. Joe Bear deflects it wide. Just loses it. Now with speed comes Joe Bear. Loyola's going to go for a change. Joe Bear's shot into the chest of Raderman. He swallows it up with 3:35 remaining in OT.
GBN faithful has to feel good about that from Michael Raderman. A nice shot into his chest. Again, has not seen very much action. That big breakaway save, but he has not really been able to settle into this game very much at all.
I think that might be only a 2nd or 3rd shot on goal, and I don't know if we're exactly accurate on the shot side. No, excuse me, I had it backwards. I was going to say only 2 shots on goal, but it's been significantly more than that because I think when Kasdan exited, it was 5 goals on, I believe, 26 shots. So it has been about 13 saves for Raderman without letting one by.
25, I believe, Max.
Thank you, Dylan. 3:12 to go. Icing going to be the call, and that's a mistake by GBN, just letting that puck go a step or 2 short of center ice. Huge opportunity for Loyola coming.
Something to take note of, icing is not the worst play in overtime because possession is really what matters. I know a lot of coaches that would tell a goaltender, go play the puck, because we'd rather have possession than a 50-50 offensive zone draw.
Interesting. That is an element, Andrew, I'll be honest, I had not thought about.
And GBN now winning the faceoff has possession. I bet Loyola, if they could go back, would rather have possession in their own zone. That
is something I've just never considered, Andrew. I appreciate you bringing that to us as Katsamakis takes a tumble. Messina trying to win the puck. Look at the effort of Siegel winning it away from Messina. He's just going to regroup his troops. And hand off to Jenin. On comes Jenin. Rolling puck, so he's got to turn back around. Cross ice here, Siegel. Siegel backdoor. Katsamakis couldn't handle it. Now a 3-on-1 coming for Loyola. Here comes Cowan. Cowan and Messina. Messina's offsides. Absolutely. An undisciplined play by Tommy Messina as they had a wide open 2-on-1. Absolutely the correct call. A break for GBN.
Just some errors from both teams. Right there we see both Siegel and Katsamakis get caught low in the offensive zone, but then Messina there's no rush. You have a clear 3-on-1. Those two GBN players are trailing. It's not like that extra step is really going to help you that much.
Tied up on the face-off draw. Just able to force it out. Just misses Aiden Siegel. Fisher settles at 2:28 left in OT. Fisher cross ice to Sipe. Just waits for it. Sipe skates wide, shoots, blockered away by Raderman into the corner. Just comes away with it with GBN. He'll carry the puck out. He skates wide, bluffs a pass towards the middle of the ice. He'll go behind the goal. Jobert pestering him the entire way. Owen Just circles off the boards. Finds Sandler outside the near circle. Sandler on to Smith. Right back to Just. Just looks, shoots, blocked in front. Now again, Loyola could have an odd man opportunity. Could be 2-on-1. Sipe was gassed at the end of a shift. Smith does a nice job cutting off the angle of Fisher.
Real good play there by Smith to shut down Fisher trying to get to the front of the net. As it looks like we got some tired bodies out there for GBN. Loyola got a fresh set of bodies out there.
Owen Just has his stick on his knees. This is a huge opportunity for Loyola. And another offsides. Ryan Cowan just a half a step into the zone. And that's two huge offsides in overtime for Loyola that were really ill-advised.
Yes, and hard to put that one on the off player, as there was a quick move at the blue line that just delayed the puck coming into the zone. If you're Loyola, when you got that situation, you just got to simplify your game more.
1:28 left in OT. Rossi gets the puck off the face-off draw. Here's Dimoff. Dimoff looking. Macinter. Now Dimoff skates, looking for a hat trick to win the game. Backhanded shot just misses the far post. Macinter collects. Dimoff winding up, wants a one-timer. Macinter didn't see him.
We saw the speed there of Michael Dimoff really able to take
Here's
over.
Dimoff's shot, deflects off the stick of steel, and fortunately for Haney, he kept it out. 1 minute to go in OT. Turnover kept in by Rossi. Rossi gets on to Macinter. Rossi wants it back. Centering pass just missed Rossi. 50 seconds to go. Here comes Loyola. Bain plays up to Cowan. Dimoff the only one back for the Spartans. Cowan leaves it for Bain, and Bain's just going to reset, head back to center ice. 40 seconds to go. Here's Kadlik. Kadlik stops, turns. Now he waits, trying to set something up. He'll just take it back into the neutral zone. 30 seconds to go. Dimoff pressuring Sipe, forces a turnover. Dimoff gets taken down to the ice, no call. Ref's not going to call that with 20 seconds left in OT. Raderman's got to come out of his net to scoop that aside, but Waltman's got an angle, shoots, knocked down in front by Rossi. 11 seconds to go. Rossi comes up the ice. Kadlik turns him off the puck, able to win it. He's just going to clear the zone. We're going to head to a shootout. One last shot just after the buzzer. Now we'll head to a shootout. 5-5 our score after the OT period. Shootout coming.
We saw both teams with some nice chances, no really A++ chances in that overtime. But I do not have Loyola's record in a shootout, but I believe GBN is 1-0 with a win over St. Viator in shootouts.
Loyola's been to a shootout once this season. They lost it to Glenbrook South.
Oh, that's right, a 1-0 win for GBS.
I actually am going to correct both you. I apologize. They also had a shootout loss to York just a couple of nights ago.
Thank you very much, Max.
Keeping you on your toes there, Mr. Social Media Director.
You were saying it earlier. I am not a big fan of the terminology sudden death shootout because, just for you viewers at home, of course there is redemption if the team that shoots first scores. It's not actual sudden death. It's the better way to say it would probably be one-round shootout.
I was going to say, I was just going to ask you to go ahead and workshop that between now and our next game of the week of what we should call it. We're calling it a one-round shootout. We'll go with that. So It's going to be Loyola to shoot first and Charlie Bain.
For GBN, historically, they have gone with Just and then Jenin in shootouts.
GBN's got all of their arms around each other. They're excited.
Here comes Bain. Raderman getting final instruction. Ref blows the whistle. Bain takes the puck across center ice. He comes up the slot, looks, forehand shot, scores! Charlie Bain beats Raderman glove side, and now it'll be on Owen Just to tie it up for GBN, where Loyola, having felt a huge scare here tonight, can escape Northbrook with a win if Braden Haney can find a save.
Something to take note of also, no ice resurface, not great ice. Smart by Bain, keep it simple, not get too cute with the puck.
Captain for Glenbrook North, Owen Just. Takes the puck, skates wide. Now coming up the slot, fakes, gets his man beat, he scores! The bluff shot, pulls it to his forehand, and he beats Haney. Tied after one round, we'll go to round two.
These teams just continue to be able to rally when it seems like everything might be gone. These teams just find a way to continue to fight.
Second up now is going to be Ryan Cowan. Captain for Loyola Gold, 4-year varsity starter. Trying to put his Loyola Gold ahead. Skates up the slot, looks again. Left pad save for Raderman. Kicks it to the left boards. And now Josh Jenin is going to get a chance to win this game for Glenbrook North.
We saw Cowan look to go back to that exact same spot where Bain shot. And it was Jenin that actually won the shootout last time they were in one against St. Viator.
We were on the call for that 2 weeks ago tonight right here at Northbrook. It was a forehand drawn to the backhand, and Jenin buried it. What will he go with tonight? Comes up the slot. Here's Jenin. Goes forehand this time, and Haney's up to the task. We'll go to round three. We have gotten everything and then some here tonight on the SHL Game of the Week. 5-5 shootout round three of this sudden death shootout.
Looks like we're going to have Chris Sipe next to shoot for Loyola.
Wearing the 19 of Jonathan Taves. Chris Sipe takes the puck at center ice. He skates wide, comes up the slot, shoots quickly, trickles through Raderman, he scores! Raderman got about 95% of that puck, but couldn't get 100. It trickles right by him. And Chris Sipe with a huge shootout goal, and it'll come up to Michael Dimoff.
Again, looks like they're shooting towards that same glove side. Again, for Loyola, all three players going with the same strategy.
Can Michael Dimoff be a hero again for GBN? He'll take the puck across center ice, carries it in on his forehand, draws his backhand, he scores! Almost an identical move to Josh Jenin at winning the shootout 2 weeks ago. Dimoff, similar move, buries it, keeps the shootout alive. We head to round four.
Dare I might say this one as instant classic, the last one. Might be one of the best ever that the SHL network has broadcast.
We might just have to broadcast every GBN Loyola game from here on out. Here's Fisher. The D-man, number 4, Fisher, carries well wide. He draws, shoots forehand, right pad save for Raderman. And now GBN a chance to win the game. It'll be
Ryan Sandler.
Ryan Sandler who gets the nod for GBN. The linesman drops the puck at center ice. Build of anticipation. Sandler skates. He'll take the puck. Almost overskated the puck. Sandler up the slot. Backhand. He scores! Ryan Sandler pulls to his backhand and gets the game winner in the shootout. GBN wins 6-5.
Great move by Ryan Sandler, almost identical to what Michael Dimoff and Josh Jenin did in the last broadcasted game. And if you're Loyola, it stings, but there's nothing to hang your hat on. You played a great game for about 45 minutes. And GBN just ends up coming out on top, but wow, just not much we can say up here from the broadcast booth. Just a pleasure to be able to watch and get to call this game.
Another absolute instant classic. We're going to send it down to ice level where Dylan Ward standing by with Evan Polikitis, who asked for something from his team in that third period, and boy, did he get it.
All right, thanks, guys. Coach, what a comeback. You guys are winners, 6-5 against Loyola for the second time in a matter of less than a week. Walk me through the comeback.
Well, we talked about it in the locker room. Let's just win the period and see what happens. Maybe, they get a little doubt in their mind if we get the next goal, and it kind of rolled out that way, and, here we are again. But, we got to start on time. It makes life a lot easier if we start on time, that's for sure. But the will that these guys in character, it's a cliche, but it's true.
Thank you very much, Coach. I'm going to talk with Michael Demov here in just a moment. He shakes hands with Scott Sorello. And here he is. So, Michael, you get 2 normal goals, 1 in the shootout. Pretty nice performance. You're the SHL leader in goals at the varsity level. What's led to the success this season?
I don't know. My teammates have done a lot of good things around me. We never kind of quit. We always battle. We always keep going. And, that's what's going to make us special this year. And I expect a lot more of this because, the group of guys we have in the locker room are unbelievable. And all of us are going to start firing and scoring. And, that's what's going to take to win an SHL championship.
A lot of schedule left in the season. So how does a big comeback win like that propel you guys forward momentum-wise?
We just got to start coming out hotter, but that's really big for us. Beating these guys twice. We beat them last game. We beat them again today. That's really big for us. As long as we continue that, we should be rolling.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Guys, close the curtain.
Thank you, Dylan. And you can tell kind of out of breath Michael Dimoff. Back-to-back 2-goal games, back-to-back game winners. As a player, Andrew, doesn't get much better than that.
No, it's actually 3 straight 2-goal games as well for Michael Dimoff. Again, can't say enough, leading the SHL in goals. But this is so big for GBN because such a big thing is finding your team's identity. And having these comeback wins of never feeling like you're out of it, that is obviously this team's identity right now. And I said it before, Loyola, they feel like they're so close. Can't emphasize that enough. This Loyola team later on the season is going to be one of the toughest outs in the entire state of Illinois. It would be no surprise to see them play in the United Center come March.
Team in, team out, game in, game out here in the SHL. It's just an absolute brawl every single night. That will do it for us here from Northbrook Ice Center. Another instant classic between Glenbrook North and Loyola. It's Glenbrook North coming out on top in a shootout, 6-5. I want to thank our great crew, as we always do. Joel Schneider, Patrick Loftus on the camera duties. Of course, Dylan Ward down on ice level. Jimmy the Wiz Olson, our technical director, doing outstanding work as he always does. Andrew Rubin to my right. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Tune in next week, a week from tonight, up in Lake Forest. We'll have Lake Forest and Stevenson, our next SHL Game of the Week. Till then, bid you a good night, and thank you for tuning in to the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live.